I've been mentoring writers and other creatives for about 7 years. I began after I did a course on coaching writers. I'd been an arts administrator. I'd worked as a programmer, specifically at that time for the National Centre for Writing, when it was in its early days and called something different, the New Writing Partnership. And I came to a point in my life when I wanted to do something different. I wanted to help writers very directly. I'd had a very good experience myself being coached, and it had helped me through a very difficult time in the writing of a novel, and a very difficult time at that point in my professional life. So I'd retained a good memory of how a coaching led process could really help a writer. So I did a course that was run by NAWE, the National Association for Writers in Education, and the Arvon Foundation, and that set me up, so to speak. That gave me a set of skills with which I could begin to mentor. The coaching-led approach that I use is writer-led. By that I mean there is no prescription. I'm not there to tell you what to write or whether something is going to sell or not. I'm there to ask you a lot of questions, to take you through a process that will help give you clarity in order that you make progress in whatever it is you're working on. I mean, it could be that you are facing problems about the writing life. You haven't found a good schedule, the demands of daily life are interfering, you are feeling a tremendous lack of motivation and confidence, and it's helpful to be able to talk those through and to be able to establish a plan of action. It's also critical to be able to find what process works for you. What works for you is not what is necessarily going to work for someone else. So there's the writing life that we talk about in the mentoring process. The writing project is very much a question of what it is you are trying to achieve with your writing. Some people arrive with a set of ideas, no more than that, maybe a few pages written, some scratches in a notebook or on a laptop. And the process of self-reflection prompts from me to you and a subsequent exploration that those prompts throw up help you to begin to define a shape for those ideas. Sometimes it may lead to a piece of non-creative fiction. Other times you might realize that actually you thought you were writing memoir, but actually what you really want to be doing is writing fiction. I tend to work with writers from a very broad range of backgrounds and of experience. I work with a lot of creative professionals who want to take their experience to translate it into a book for the general reader. So could be anything, but typically, therapists or doctors. I work with academics who want some of their academic work to translate into creative nonfiction for the common reader again. I work with writers of fiction, some of who are just starting off, who might have done a starting to write creative creative writing workshop, possibly through the National Centre for Writing. Others who are more advanced, who might have done an MA in creative writing and who have an agent and who have a novel or two, and who have reached a stumbling point, either in specifically with the novel that they're working on, or more generally in their writing journey. So the breadth of writers I see is large, and the point at which mentoring can be really useful, as opposed to a course, a workshop, a writing group, is very much the point at which you feel that that kind of conversation and series of conversations and prompts will act as a pivot on your writing life, or on a specific piece of work that you've been struggling with. So that's very different to a writing course, or, as I say, a workshop or a writing group, because the timing of mentoring can be critical, that it intervenes, it's a kind of intervention at a point at which you feel something needs to shift. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Sometimes that shift can occur in a session. You just need a little bit of oil, if you will, to smooth your wheels. Sometimes it's a process that can happen over many sessions over the course of several months, and sometimes years, because often what will happen is the ideas will begin to take shape, and those ideas will begin to find a form, and the form will then need momentum. You'll need to find a creative writing momentum, and often my role is to help you with the momentum and to provide you with a deadline to submit work on a regular basis. So that's really how I work. I often advise people to have an introductory session with me, just to see, just take a plunge, see what one-off will do. If you feel that you come away from that session with a sense of possibility, with a sense of being galvanized, with some new ideas, with possibly an idea of an action plan, although certainly not always, then we can carry on. You can book another one, or possibly a set of 3. So the mentoring I do works very much on an elastic timescale. It's not something which is predetermined by a time frame of 6 months or 9 months, at the end of which you will have a publisher-ready book. It doesn't work like that. It's much more about creative stimulation and momentum.